Here live at the FPA NorCal conference in beautiful San Francisco. I'm Chuck Vela with goRIA Fueled by Investment News, and we've got a great guest with us, David Haughton, who is the team lead for advanced planning at Commonwealth.
Right.
David, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Really excited to have you here. So one of the many things I love about doing the goRIA live streams and podcasts, because I'm a business owner and I run Sovereign Financial, we're an RIA. So I get free advice directly from the source. So I know later today, and I'm eager for your presentation, you're going to be talking about estate planning. I think more so from the client perspective. And FPA NorCal does such a great job in delivering great content for us advisors. I'm looking forward to joining that as a member of the audience. But I want to talk to you about something a little bit different. So we always talk about going RIA. And it's not so much we're trying to bash the BD world, but we always like to show, compare and contrast. What's the difference between the BD world and the RIA space? And one of them is the fact that you really own your business. Sure. So something I'm looking to do this year before the laws change is some estate planning. And like most owners of RIAs, like myself, after some years, my largest asset now is my illiquid asset, which is Sovereign Financial Group. So can you speak a little bit on what you're seeing other RIAs doing to help create their estate plan and get those assets transferred to the next generation efficiently?
Sure. Yeah, most often we have advisors coming to us in our team looking for estate planning advice for their clients, right?
Right.
Because we are consultants to the advisors. But more and more as advisors are going RIA, more and more they're coming to us in our team to discuss, now I have this asset, this is mine. How can I transfer this to the next generation, estate plan with it? So there's so many options when it's your business to plan with, and you don't have, a lot of the intricacies and complexities involved with a business that you're a part of, but there's regulatory aspects and things that you don't necessarily own. So when it's a business that you own, like your own RIA, you have a lot of flexibility when it comes to gifting, when it comes to passing on to the next generation, leveraging the estate tax, depending on the value of it. So much more flexibility to do estate planning if you own your own business.
Yeah, and I've been giving this some thought just because I'm doing it myself currently, or at least I'm starting to think about doing it for myself currently. Kind of the, what's that expression, the cobbler's kids have no shoes?
Yep.
You got to do estate planning. And then my wife's like, we really should do our estate plan. I'm like, oh, you're right. So, but interestingly, if you're in the broker-dealer world, right, you don't own the wirehouse, you don't own the broker-dealer, you own claim to those relationships. But to your point, like a very popular part of estate planning is gifting and setting up family limited partnerships and all that kind of good stuff. You can't possibly do that, I don't think, right? You can't gift away a portion of your right to those clients, can you?
No. Yeah. Much less flexible. My presentation today is going to be about flexibility for clients and their estate plans, but you have far less flexibility in that world with advisors. If you're RIA, you have far more flexibility with how you pass it on and to who.
Right. So I think that's kind of a check in the pro column for the RIA space is what you could do for estate planning. And also with regards to how you're building that business too, you just have a lot more flexibility. So let's pivot a bit to what you do day to day.
Sure.
So it's kind of interesting when we were talking a bit off camera, you're talking to more RIAs that are coming to you. They come to you all the time about how do you help my client, but they're coming to you now to how do you help me, the RIA, which I think is fantastic. But let's talk a little bit about the flexibility that one has in the RIA space. So if you're, again, not to bash, but to compare and contrast, if you're at a wirehouse, you're using that team, right? You're really not as likely to be able to pick and choose your providers and how do you get the trust set up and all this. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, when you're RIA, from our perspective in advanced planning, we have so many options we can provide to advisors, whether it be, trust company, what trust company they're going to use, what technology they're going to leverage, whether it be, Holistaplan, Wealth.com, whatever the case may be, to look into these technology options that are out there that you might be able to leverage to, try to help the client. Whereas, in the wirehouse world, you're kind of a little bit more have to use certain softwares, certain services, and you don't have as much flexibility.
You have the guardrails. As a matter of fact, my firm, we just signed up with Vanilla, and I know they're here today, so I'm looking forward to checking them out as well.
Yeah, a lot of incredible providers here, and the way that technology is evolving with AI, it's an exciting time.
I think that's going to be one of the biggest movers next year, is the idea of some of these firms that are doing for estate planning what like the e-monies did for financial planning.
Sure.
Right? And it's just making it more efficient. And again, can you do that in the broker-dealer space? Yes, likely. Can you do it as easily and with as much choice? Probably not. And that's kind of the compare and contrast. So whenever we're talking to our audience, we're not trying to necessarily say that going RI is the only way to go. It's certainly worth looking at. It's certainly where the puck is going to. But just understand what the pros and cons are, which I think is important.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So I know we only have you for a couple more minutes because you have to get up on stage, but maybe some parting thoughts for the audience on jump ball, whatever you want to talk about.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, this conference is amazing. The top minds in the industry are here, so I love being here. So excited to talk about estate planning. My background, I was an attorney, and I shifted roles. I kind of jumped the fence to become a consultant to financial advisors. So the thing that I try to always stress is collaboration. So much with the different professionals. And especially when it comes to estate planning, because now we have these different tools and everything. So the more advisors can get involved in the estate planning process, I think the better for everyone.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great place to leave it for right now. So David Haughton from Commonwealth, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And that's it for this particular segment. I'll be back in another hour with some more content here live from FPA Northern California in beautiful San Francisco. We'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us. Take care.